Welcome, everybody. You know, it's your boy, Trini Boy Extraordinaire, Mark and MUFC fan here. And we're going to talk about some few things that have been happening today. Of course, it's pretty early. I know most of you guys probably were not concerned about it. But for those of you that the football fans, the real ones, this is for you. And I got my brethren, my Trini brethren. Marcus is in the building. Welcome to Marcus 2 to the stream, guys. Of course, it's always a collaboration. Marcus. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
guys, there were some discussions being had today, and of course, we are here to discuss that. We both looked at it, at different time perspectives. As you can see, it's dark in my background, it's light in his. So it's one of those things. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Is what we're gonna ask you as we present to you. Well, what we think, and of course, I have a few banners here with the key issues that was brought up in, and we'll start off with Kyron Edwards, the TTFA president. He was speaking with the coaches associations earlier this morning, discussions about where Trinidad can go forward, how we can be going forward, what is the plan, what do you have in place, has your structures worked thus far, have we seen any accountability on your promises, and what is the plan going forward? How are we going to get things standardized, localized, centralized, and progressing forward in football? Marcus, I leave it to you because you have lots of key takeaways, and I'll be asking you questions, my bro. Big
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks again, Mark, for the opportunity. Yeah, so the president today, Karen Edwards, had his first meeting, I guess what would be a stakeholders meeting, and he spoke to the coaches. He spoke to various coaches at various levels, starting all the way from primary school all the way up to tier one level in Trinidad. And so obviously the conversation would have been a lot around development and what is his plans going forward. So this was actually a 3 hour meeting. So it was plenty information. He himself said that he thinks they need to do more of this because plenty things happening in the TTFA that people just don't know about. I think he went on to say the average person probably know like about 10% alone as compared to what is actually taking place. And I possibly was one of those in the 10% because he mentioned plenty things going on. I'm like, okay. And I mean, I know we like to say a promise is a comfort a fool. So I told somebody after that meeting I would definitely be the fool in this case because he made plenty promises. So we're just waiting to see if he actually implements. But it seems like 2026 has a lot on the horizon when it comes to developmental football.
Well, I mean, when you're looking at the various things, shout out to Sunson in the building, big up to Waffle Dawn, and of course Tim is here. Big up guys from Jamaica, continue the work. Number one Caribbean and TNT. Yes, big up my brother. And guy, like we saying, he made some promises, he made some statements, and it was clear. He was discussing some points of, developmental. Of course, there's the Republic Bank League. Of course, there's the youth professional league and of these things. And he would like to get it to a system where, some of the guys who were also in the meeting were suggesting, there should be some kind of reprieve from players being excess of 18 years old playing, in the SSFL because it
Yeah,
doesn't really balance. Does it really improve them? Does it really improve the youngsters being 15 to 18, going up against an 18-year-old who's already developed, going on 19? I think it's very, very interesting the way they mentioned that, of course, because
yeah,
these things need to be standardized. Of course, there's a lot of different situations and technical circumstances, basically semantics, and it affects the south zone, the north zone, central zone in different ways. And lots of clubs, especially in Tobago, are feeling ostracized. The guy from Tobago was speaking about his team, and it's a twin island republic, and we need
yeah,
to make sure and keep that centric because we are Trinbagonian. Understandably, you hear some Tobagonians say they're from Tobago, they don't say Trinidad because then when they are treated like this, it's unfair, and I could accept that because, bro,
yeah,
we have to try to be fair. Shout out to Sean in the building, qualifying starting late January and February for two teams. So 2026 is too late. You teams qualifying 100%. And of
yeah,
course, Now, we are not saying it's perfect. Remember, guys, this is a young FA that recently taken over after 10 years of not really a proper direction, not really anything going on. And let's be honest, guys, we have to look at where we were in 2006 and 20 years later. We are nowhere near that. It's not their fault. Now they can do a better job. Certainly, probably we can all agree and probably disagree and argue these points. But what they are doing right now is where we are at, and we need to look at what that is going to impact, how it's going to affect change, how is that going to improve us going forward, because this is where it's very important, guys. We can sit here and criticize, but where are we going to go with that argument? Are we going to rip it up, start all over again? Are we going to be late to preparation for 2030? Are we looking at 2034? I mean, for me, I think, guys, we need to look at it from a perspective of positivity in the sense that he's there now. He has
Yeah,
such and such time. Maybe they've made mistakes. They can be corrected, and there's time to do so. Now, what is going to go forward, we can see with our eyes, guys. Stats don't lie. Put the numbers in context. Moving forward, how far does the needle move? And this
yeah,
is where we need to analyze the TTFA now. Because I think maybe we didn't qualify for the 2026 and it hurts. But let's remember,
yeah,
guys, we still have Dwight York. Where is the discussions for his further contractual obligation to Trinidad and Tobago for the next 5 years? That is a pressure that we need to place on the TTFA. They need to start discussing these things. It's something about continuity that we have not had for a long time. That is where we usually fail, guys. We have to be true. So, Marcus, I would say other points that you have noticed, let's get into that
yeah,
because I would
sure.
talk, talk, talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the one of the first things that was highlighted by the coaches is that we currently don't even have a technical director. And obviously we need to have that person in place. The president responded and said that by December the 15th, which is probably like in the next 2 weeks, we are supposed to have somebody in place. He said that interviews were done, an offer went out, so they basically just waiting to get a response from that person,
Hmm.
and that will be announced. That is one. You mentioned the Republic Bank Cup. He said that the TTFA is now taking over, or I think taking back over the Republic Cup. So moving from next year, that would fall under the umbrella of TTFA, and they're looking to expand it. So he was talking a lot about the youth leagues and making sure that obviously that's the most established one that we have so far. So he
Of course.
mentioned taking that and letting the TTFA run that. He spoke about the high performance program. They are going to re-implement that. That was something that was kind of done away with. And the points that he mentioned is that from the youth league, players would be identified in early 2026, like the first quarter, and they have some logistics are put in place. But by the second quarter, 2026, there would be youth teams that would be going to Center of Excellence, and they would be training 4 times a week, which is, I guess, what they had in place before. So they working back on that system to make sure that they have that up and running. So
Hmm.
again, all of these are just promises for now. We have to wait. 2026 could be a very exciting year. Um, he spoke about age group specific pitches. So different pitches for different ages, like under 13 would play at certain fields, under 15s would play at certain fields, under 17s would play at certain fields. So again, this was a conversation more about development. So he was really highlighting some good information there. Um, he said that, as you mentioned, they are having facilities in Tobago also, so they're really trying to bridge that gap so that teams could go across and play in Tobago. Tobago teams could come across and play. Um, so yeah, forgive me if you see me looking at this kind of reading
Nah,
some
it's
of the
no
things
thing,
from my
bro.
phone, right? Um, people asked about a full football calendar for the year because they said sometimes you have training going on with certain teams and then their schools come and take away the students because they have school football to play. And then somebody might be in tier one or tier two football and they'll be pulled away to that. And there's a lot of clashes. Somebody highlighted the fact that a tier one final was actually played the same time Trinidad was playing a game in the Gold Cup, I think. I think that was when
Mhm.
we was playing USA. Um, so to kind of standardize a full calendar to make sure we don't have these kind of clashes, instead you'll definitely work on that.
Well, I
Um,
mean, as you mentioned that part there, I know
yeah.
Africa and CAF are planning, and America also
Hmm.
planning to change their calendars to match with the system that's going on, so that they could all manage the weight load on players internationally on a better level. I think
Right.
America doing it more likely because their players really don't break into the European side of the game as much, you know. But for Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean, doing something like that, managing the league in terms of a system, because when you look at the various levels in England and Europe, they have so many different divisions. There's so much football. Football is year round. They break for Christmas, they break again in Easter, they break for the summer. And
Hmm.
I mean, it's pretty much 8 months, 8 to 9 months a year. You know what I mean? So I think if we could get into that rotation, seeing that we don't really have the weather issues that they have, it makes it such a way that we know we might not have the leagues, but you have to understand, bro, it's not about having a league to say that it's of that level, but if you have sufficient leagues and a sufficient structure that leads with that has jeopardy or something like that nature, right? Then you're standing into a ballpark where it becomes to be a revolving situation. And teams could progress, teams will regress based on performance. So therefore, it's sports. This is where you want to see. So the higher performing teams will go up, the lower performing teams will go down, and therefore it should improve, because right now we don't have anything. So anything is better than what we have right now, and you should be open to that. I just saying, son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I know see Son's on comment. That's why I'm laughing. I want to go back to Prince's comment. We need solutions and major reconstruction. So yeah, that was actually mentioned also. The plan is within the next couple of years to have 20 fields that are refurbished and fully solely for football. Again, these are just what the president said. There's not my
I,
words,
I
right?
heard that as well, and I think that's
there's
interesting.
Yeah, there's not
And
my
not to
words.
mention the fact that if we get stakeholders to buy into 10, FIFA will do 10. So
Correct.
guys, let's challenge FIFA, please. Stakeholders, private members, help us out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big up the thing.
And he said, so somebody asked obviously where the money for that coming. He said he's already engaging contractors and the contractors have volunteered their services. That's what was said. So again, we wait to see. I really, really hope that it comes to fruition. We wait to see.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's positive, and I think, bro, I like these kind of things because, like I keep telling man, them Jamaica in the last 10 years have silently created a very nice system and structure for their football in terms of domestic league. And
Yes.
I mean, shout out to you, my brother, for coming through. We know the plan 2030 TNT going to qualify step by step plan. York is the man. Do it right. Of course, bro. And I mean, like, a lot of Jamaicans say this to me daily, in the group with the brothers from Sports, Blem TV, and these guys. They talk out, they be honest, they like the banter, but they like real football, and everybody is say how much York has improved us. And you know what? One of the most interesting things about this meeting with the coaches talking to the TTFA was the mention that how can they now help supply the right talent to the national team for Dwight York to have a proper pool to select from. And
Yeah.
this was what I would say is one of the most interesting comments of the night, in the sense I think this strikes a chord in the right direction for every single reason. It ticks every box. And guys, come trust me. When you start being wise to how you develop talent and why you develop talent and for what you're developing the talent for, you make a system that is almost unbeatable. And now, if you're doing it according to the climate of Trinidad and Tobago, come on, guys. We are a very talented bunch of players. We love to play the ball on the ground. We're quick. We're very good on our feet, and we have the ability to do all. But we didn't have the structure or the discipline. If we can get the coaches from UEFA C to A, CONCACAF C to A levels, coaching from the right levels, going up across the board around the country, guys, our football will definitely behave and evolve in a manner. Because,
True.
I mean, when you're developing players, you need the best proper development. You cannot be developing players. And I just being honest. Going to Barcelona a few weeks ago, guys, I would say to you all, the amount of walking the youngsters do on a daily in Barcelona is average 23,000 steps. Yeah. So imagine you doing 23,000 steps a day average, and then you training football as a youngster. That's the drastic difference in performance and attrition levels that you're facing. And when you're walking around in Barcelona, guys, if you know in your heart of the city, is like almost walking up inclines most of the time.
Mm.
So it's up and down. So trust me, guys. You had to be fit out here. And if you want to compete at the world level, you have to know where the standard is. And you need to use the data that they're using at the top level and bring it home and use it at the levels here to get up to that. So once you get up to that levels on data, then technically you're at a standard physically and technically wise based on stats. Now to do it and apply it in games, that's all up to the quality and the talent of the football and intelligence instilled into the player during development. So I think, yeah,
One one point, and I see both Prince and Penn talking about it, is our screening process. Um, they kind of mentioned that also, and that is why they said that they are supposed to develop or a selection group, a talent identification group. And one thing that the president mentioned is that we currently have two FIFA coaches solely for talent identification in Trinidad and Tobago right now, which to me is an exciting point because we have U17, we have U20 coming up, we have plenty youth football. So the fact that they are around and they would probably be teaching our people how to go about scouting properly, that kind of has me a bit excited too, because who knows what could happen in 2026 and moving forward. Because as you mentioned, we have a lot of good players. It's just
bro,
we need to get them out there.
JJ Gabriel scored a hat trick today,
Oh, he did?
Bretta.
Well,
They slap Liverpool under 18 7-0 today, bro.
and he's
Yeah.
what, 15, right? 14 or 15?
15. He's
Yeah,
15 years old. No, I'm not saying he will play for Trinidad, yeah. I definitely will hope so. But
I
one
would
of my
hope so.
brethren mentioned to me, he's a Cap de Verde fan, but he mentioned this to me and it had me thinking, what if FIFA make the rules slightly different? Maybe having a player like Jadon Sancho being able to have the opportunity to switch unanimously to one more nation, leading Trinidad and Tobago. We might have had more critical moments. We might have been qualifying, and it made me think that maybe if they kind of change the rules slightly, it would allow a lot of players who are unable to play for any nations because of cap ties, right? To play for other nations and improve the quality of football. Thereby, when they go to a World Cup, it don't really have any whipping boys now, if you understand what I mean. Not just Sancho, bro, but understand what I mean in general across the board. Because how many English players it have could play for other nations, but they play for 4 or 5 games for England and never play again over the last 5 years, but they can't play for nobody else. That
True,
makes no
true, true,
sense.
true.
You know what I mean? And they're only 23, 24 years old. And it's across all it's different players. France, all these things have hundreds of players who can't represent the national team because of cap ties and these things to France. And it's not like if they're not even making the selection, bro. And other countries looking for talent, So maybe it's something to look forward to because, I mean, it does have 48 teams now in the World Cup and nobody wants to see like 12 games of dross. So we might as well open it up and strengthen the quality of the teams across the board for
Yeah.
everybody to compete. Let's see a fantastic World Cup with competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? Pen is not really about him, but of course, let me be honest, guys. Let's not be real. I don't rate the guy for Man United, but I'm telling you, he improved Trinidad and Tobago ginormously, bro. We would win games we lost because of that brother on the pitch. Trust me. Yeah. So I
The
mean, because they have structure. Listen, yeah, listen. The one thing I would tell people about Haiti, Haiti produced World Cup winners for France. Of course, you guys know him. He have two sons that's play in Italy right now. You know what I mean? He played for France in the '98 World Cup. The best defender at France. You know, and this guy, he's ahead of one of the people that is make sure and keep the structure in Haitian football. So while Haiti going through what they're going through, the sports don't suffer. And if you want to know why our sports is suffer, bro, you was living in Trinidad for the last decade. Tell me, was youth and culture getting any sponsorship? No. And was these ministers keeping their jobs? Yes. So understand what I'm saying? It's madman thing. If you're not doing that, if you're not developing talent, how could you be a sports minister? I'm just saying it's not hard. I mean, it's difficult in terms of managing the whole logistics of it all. But if you are the head of where it have framework available to you, you should be able to do a job because it's all about finding talent. And if you're scouting for talent, you should be have all preparations there. And after 10 years and no improvement, it can't be blamed on anyone else but you. Simple as that. You know
true.
what I mean? So while we will examine Mr. Brown, Mr. Edwards, you know what I mean? I think we definitely need to give him another few months and let's see how the SSFL and this league turns out, see what performance results we get out of the players coming out, what are the results, how the games look, you know, because there's a lot of infrastructure have to go in place. I mean, how many teams could really have VAR and thing in Trinidad and Tobago? Let's be honest. You know what I mean? And we
True.
need to get up to these levels because when we have an international tournaments, having a proper VAR system where you could see replays live and all these things is very important because for accountability. You know what I mean, guys? Any other
So
critical points? Because
one
grassroots,
of the
it
other
was the
things,
focus, Tim.
yeah, definitely. One of the other things he mentioned is that we had to cut ties with Sportsmax because they had some kind of bizarre contract that we had to pay them a lot of money. We still owing them about $1 million, he said. So they had to cut that tie with Sportsmax immediately.
Yikes,
Um,
what must do
they,
them drastic. No, no,
yeah,
no, it was
sports,
violation. No, I mean,
yeah,
for all intents and purposes, a businessman, I mean, I can't say Sportsmax didn't try to get the best deal clearly for themselves.
yeah,
But whoever brokered that deal with Sportsmax, and I'm pretty sure it was Wallace, yeah, pretty sure, they never really had the future in mind. And
true,
let's be honest, there are lots of different things they could do. I think the TTFA definitely needs to organize a pro league YouTube or some kind of maybe a Patreon page or something where you know what I mean. People could pay €5 or $5 or something and just watch online all the games or ten
yeah.
a month, $5 a month or $10 a month, and just watch all the games, make it real cheap, and just stream it. You know what I
So
mean? Because
what he said, obviously they're doing a little bit of work right now with Wave TV, but that real inconsistent. He was talking about the three ways that you could make money. The three ways to make money is your gate receipts, your TV rights, and selling players, obviously. So he said in terms of gate receipts, they were kind of using last year to see what the gate receipts look like because they didn't have much data before. So they're working on that. Um, yeah, I know. I see Prince last comment there. Sportsmax no longer exists, but we still owe them money.
uh,
I don't even
they
understand
might
how
not
that
be
works.
a functioning business, but they incorporated, and as long as they incorporated, dollars must
Yes,
check and
we
balance.
still owe them money. So yeah, he was saying that they've already kind of worked out a deal with FIFA Plus so that all our games would be streamed FIFA Plus. So I don't know exactly what the details. And
I could
as
give you
you
a little bit of
mentioned,
insight on FIFA Plus because I have FIFA Plus. It's pretty decent, and you even have you should have the option. I think they should have the option for how they call it over here, conference in Germany. They call it conference, where you see like four games. At one
Oh,
moment,
okay.
it'll be split screen for 4 games. At one moment, you'll see one game when a goal score. You'll see like that moment when the goal scored, they'll get it replayed and they'll give you like 2 minutes of that game. Then they'll switch to another game that looking like it possibly going to have a goal in it for five
Okay.
minutes, and if a goal scored, they'll keep it on for a bit, and it's go through the games now. So it's been decent. I mean, and then they could probably have it, but I feel like maybe it would be interesting if they give some rights to guys like you and me to stream some of these things to our
Yeah.
channel live, because I would love, honestly, to stream some of them pro league games. If I had the link to it, I'd be streaming and reacting and commentating to it, because I think I would have fun talking Trini and making some jokes. You know what I mean? I'm being honest. But I
Which
mean,
is
would
a
they
good
do
which
that,
is a good
bro?
point. I try to tell, so like I know there are some like SFA, EFA, CFA games, which is lower levels, obviously. And I tell men, anytime all you have a camera and all you feel a camera good and you could go live, you just let me know. So I saying it here now too. Just let me know. I could literally connect. We could literally connect and you could use my whole platform and let thousands of people see your games. Because
Yeah, I
that is what we
mean,
have to do at a grassroots level too.
I think it's not that hard for these guys to get to it have cameras that they should have. If you want to consider yourself an amateur club or respectable club, it have these 4 cameras. All clubs is get this, put them on the corner flags, and record the games. There's to have 4 different lens modes and thing that is record all the different movement, speed, and all these sorts of things, and of course visual. So what I mean, get someone to record games. I will
Yeah,
stream it live. Marcus will stream it live. We will be there. No, just
yeah.
make sure you let us know at least with 45 minutes in advance. The game will be streamed, and we can set up everything and have everybody here, and we'll talk about it. Because, I mean, bro, Trinidad football, Caribbean football is where it's at right now. It's an untapped market, and everybody needs to understand that there's a lot of talent there, and we need to get that talent to the world. You know?
And you see, that's the thing that's confused me. You would tell me, I would assume that a TTFA with a sport, with a media manager knows that YouTube pays people for attention. That is literally what it is paid for. I watch some games where you see like Wave TV showing. Sometimes you see four. Look, it have games this evening. I show. When we watching this evening, you see 300 people on every day on the weekend, 4 5 hours. Obviously, that is money. So if the FA gets some one cameraman or somebody to go and get, because sometimes, as I say, Wave TV does be real inconsistent. We may see
Bro.
something, we may not see it,
Them
and
gonna make me hire a camera squad to go and record
th-
games, bro. Yeah, I
I'm
go
telling
stream
you,
them
it's
myself,
simple.
bro.
It's simple. It's simple,
It's
and they
not it's not
paying you
that
for it.
simple, but because I mean, I could be honest with you, bro. The stream that the unit that they had to make sure you have a decent unit that will run for the entire game and a good source
Well,
of
true,
power.
true,
And then
true,
once
true,
you have
true,
that
true.
unit, you're good to go. Because then, yeah, all the cameras route through the feed, everything come up, link, boom, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Now that if we could get something like that going, bro, it will cost. Not that cheap. You know what I mean? But I think, this is where the TTFA, all these individuals and stakeholders had to come together and actually, let's produce something palatable, because, at the end of the day, we could blame the TTFA, but when they're trying to do it with what they have, we still need private members of society, stakeholders, to come in and give a little bit of something. Because, I mean, they don't always have the expertise, but they might be able to have the financial health expertise, and how we could solve these problems. Because let's be honest, these guys should not be playing for 5,000 TT dollars as an average salary. I think that's crazy. So we need to get them views and get the
Yeah.
views linked to directly, so all these guys could probably get sponsorship. I'm pretty sure if you get this league streamed for a season, you might be able to pitch it to maybe an Under Armour or Hero Bikes or something, and try to get some sponsorship where these guys could earn maybe a 5, 10, 15,000 a month. And now you might get a little bit more competitive a league, with players more focused on training and development and being better. It is a go around, and everybody had to get something. You know what I mean?
I see Pen comment. We just have to beg for a squad release.
Yeah,
Asking
don't
for a
worry now, man. We
stream.
go we go work on. Let me not try to mix up two things right now. Let me deal with Fuentes on our next
Yeah,
moment.
yeah,
Right
yeah.
now,
We
let me
gotta,
don't make him the star or the co-star at this moment here, because this is about grassroots, and this brother. We going to XE out our grassroots. That grass don't grow too long, buddy. We need to cut that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the third thing, as I mentioned, gate receipts being one, TV rights being two, and the other is developing and selling players. So they said that there will be a focus more, which I guess is why he started here with this group, um, on development and selling players, because he say we need to change our mentality where we just running down every small tournament to make sure we get 10,000, 100,000. He said we need to kind of change the football and develop, because imagine you sell one player, you sell two players to a good club. You're making back on 100,000
Hey,
tenfold, he said,
bro, but you're not
easily,
making back on
easily.
100,000. You're making money you never would have
You're
earned
making
before.
money. You understand?
So
So,
so let me be honest about it. So and that's where it should have been all along. It used to be like that before. I think now it changed. I think it's a lot of hustle now more on the actual developmental way so it used to be back then. Because
yeah,
back then I would tell you, I know it had men who it had different academies that had the, used to players used to come all the way from Italy and do little 3 month stints 2, 3 times a year. So it is not now players just get scout from Trinidad to different clubs, even recently as last year and thing. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where I feel like we need to go back to basics, bro, when it comes to these things. But most importantly, we coaches, if you're touching youngsters with talent from the time there's 4, 5, have a certification from a please. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but let's get the football moving. And the only way to move forward, bro, is everybody having certification. If you want to get the right support and the right funding for your program, get a coaching C license, CONCACAF for UEFA. It can be done online. If you need anything, drop a message on the bottom of this video, guys, in the non-live section. If it's not my channel, do it on Marcus's channel, and I will get you the links to Barca Innovation or German Academy. The course will be in English online. I'm pretty sure you'll get certified and it
yeah,
will be easy. But you know what I mean? So you need to find solutions. You can't just depend on the TTFA. A lot of guys did ask about these coaching plans. And of course, they said they're stagnant. But you can't just be stagnant for a year or two waiting on the TTFA. You could actually try to take matters in your own hand as well. So I'm not going to blame them because maybe they have their own arrangements. I don't know what it is. But there are other options, and if you really want to be the best you can be at something, you really need to fulfill yourself, and that's point blank. Period. You know.
yep. I go into Son comment. Gil back home, Natty come back home. So the selling and working. But obviously that speaks to the level that our players are at. Um, and I try to talk to plenty players outside, and I hear that our level is so poor that when they go out, actually, I was talking to one of the coaches in the coaching group, actually, getting into the coaching group. So they asked me, um, he said last year he sent two players to Brazil, and that was the toughest 3 months of their life. They say
You
that
see,
they were
and this is why I keep
confused. They
telling
were
men when
confused
I,
outside there.
bro, listen. Now listen, bro, and I'll be real honest here, right? I remember going to watch youth football, yeah, about 10 years ago, and the training was nothing like the training men went through. I went through. You know what I mean? It's not even at the intensity level. It's like a
Yeah,
jog around, bro. It's like a fun. Men just kick up, man just gears up and nice boots and all these. Brother, yeah, what I mean? I know back then you're training in black boots. Yeah, because you're training. And then when you're a
right.
game, you could wear nice boots. If you score goals consistently, you could wear your pretty color boots until then you gotta wear black boots. You know what I mean? So I feel like we need to understand Nati was very talented, a youngster. Gil, I think Gil was kept back more likely. It's not really Gil's fault because of where Gil come from. Nati was a very talented youngster at QRC. He had all the opportunities. He was playing for the national team since he was 15. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think Nati problem is he didn't work hard enough. I'll be honest. So I feel like, Natty is not a point to make of the situation because I think it have better young talents than Natty and guys who's actually work hard at the level. Now, the next problem is when you look at the level, these guys do these guys do their homework? Because if you're 15, 16 years old playing school, secondary football, league, intercol level, you need to be doing your homework. You need to, when people watch you, it should be like watching young Real Madrid or young Manchester United or something. It can't be watching like a scrappy bunch. You know what I mean? And of course, you guys might be talented, but it's not that kind of football. It needs to be intense. We need pace and physicality because you guys need to compete against the world. And if you're not going to try to compete at that level at home, how could you go out there and raise to that level, guys? Let's just be honest.
True. True.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, but not just because they come back as one or two, bro. It's our other brothers out there, and of course, like he said, some of them will be finding it difficult. Doesn't mean they're not adapting. You know what I mean? And they're being honest. And I think when they could be honest like that, they have a chance
Yeah.
because they know where they are and they know what they need to do. And as long as they know what they need to do, they have an opportunity to work to get there. And once they get there, guys, you could only clap for them because look, it have Dante Sealy who is there. It has we boy the Super Saint on the left wing, who is there as well, Spicer. And he is one of the big boys. Now I think he needs to level up and go to Europe. You know what I mean? I still think Dante Sealy needs to level up plenty because mentally he like Jane
Yeah.
Sancho. You know what I mean? He's volatile. So
Yeah. Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
honest opinion, guys, I wouldn't criticize some of these youngsters too much. Really and truly, some of these youngsters, it was groomed into them because they went through favoritism. Let me be honest. And they need to go through more meritocracy. We'd have to fight for every chance they get, not just because they had a good stint once. You have a good stint twice. No, bro. You gotta work at it. And
True.
this is Trinidad and Tobago. And like, bro, I just say that just like it's Manchester United. And men might hate that, but yeah, as a Man United fan, I know it is to win. In my lifetime, I see 14 trophies, bro. So I know lots of people hasn't seen that at their club, no matter who they back, unless it's Madrid. So let me just get there or Bayern.
True. True. True.
So I'm
True.
being
True.
honest. So if we want to win, we know where we have to get to, and as each and every one of you watching, we could affect change slightly. Because everybody have a neighbor, everybody have a friend or a youngster who want to be a footballer. No, you need to help them by getting them to the level of international. It's easy. You just need to get to the stat measurement. What is the required level performance and training for a youngster from 5 to 12 in Europe? Chat GPT works, people. If you can't afford a club, Chat GPT can help you in a layman's terms. You just need to ask it the right questions. And we
Hmm.
can do these things, but really and truly, players like Gill and these guys, they were failed by the coaches who don't have CONCACAF A or B licenses. Because guess what? If they had those licenses, these guys would have a better basic training level and they would be able to fairly compete for positions because let's be honest, the USA really just have fitness over some of these brothers. They don't have talent over them. No way, shape, or form.
True.
Never seen
True.
it.
True.
Europe could tell you about it because they will always choose a Caribbean boy over a North American boy in Europe because guess what? They've seen what we deliver and they know after 18 months these guys usually don't deliver. So it's history, it's heritage. But we
Hmm.
need to get ourselves up to the level and trust me, guys. The basic intensity level. We're not there for youngsters at 5, 6, 7 years old, not getting in at least 20 to 30,000 steps a day. And I'm being honest, it's sounding mad, it's sounding crazy. But if I show you all the walking steps, and I ain't even walking for 2, 3 hours, I done hitting 30,000 steps myself in a day in Barcelona, guys. And I watching youngsters doing that in a breeze, running around, skipping. So, brother, let's let you all know. If you want to compete at the highest level, you gotta go the highest, you gotta go to willing to be go to that distance.
Yeah.
That's start young.
I see. I see. Son ask Marcus, how far you think Defense Force will go in the CONCACAF Champions Cup? So that's another point. I mean, I know that is not really this conversation. Um, firstly, we need to win the second leg, or at least not lose the second leg, because we already up 3-0 from the first game. So we basically have one foot inside. And then that would take us to the big league finally. Finally, we'll be back in the big league. Um, because it's third place, we had to go into the
Playoffs.
round. Yeah, no, well, this is kind of the playoffs. We have to go into the round where 22 teams, and then I think it's a one game, and then they move on from that. Um, I I don't know who
They're a
we'll
fight,
get.
bro.
Yeah,
If they
I don't
want
know
it,
who we'll
they'll
get.
take it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Listen, football had no game easy though, fellas. And let me be real honest, yeah. Coming from Trinidad and Tobago in this current climate, we are the minnows, guys.
Yeah,
We are the underdogs. The world is against, it's all against us. The odds are against us. It's stacked. So you had to fight, tooth and nail, you had to claw. Don't expect it. Give it. If you can't not take it for yourself, do expect to get help. And this is the point where the world is a cruel place. We would love to have a fair and balanced judgment when it comes to fairness and refereeing in all games according to FIFA fair play rules. But let's be real. Unless we make it undeniable, let's not put our fates in anyone else's hands. And for
true.
too far too long, yeah, we just dumping everything on the TTFA and hoping that then we'll just find a way for everybody and everybody could party and be happy. But let me start to take account. No, be honest, bro, because
Yeah,
listen, when it comes to giving these kids nutrient, the right proper nutrition, you're gonna stop giving them chubby to carry to school and solo to drink. But you know, man, them you can't be mad and you can't say it's only the TTFA because guess what? The talent that then developing coming from one of your households. You understand? So if they coming from your household with in proper nutrition, in proper discipline and values, then come on, guys. What we sending them in the world for the world to make them a better person? No, no, no. Come on, people. No, no,
good
because
point.
listen, at the end of
Good
the
point.
day,
Good
I
point.
will be positive as I can be. But at the end of the day, I will do my endeavor best to try some way, shape, or form to contribute to that point. Because at the end of the day, for me, I want to see Trinidad in a World Cup and go and cheer. You understand? So I don't
Yep,
know about you guys. If I can make it happen, I will do it. If I had the billions, I'd do it myself. Yeah, but I don't. So if it have somebody willing to help, we have ideas, people have ideas. Let's come together and find solutions. Let's not criticize the thing. Let's solve the thing and go
true.
forward. Because yeah, it can't be this better and that better and it had to be let's go forward together because let me be honest, it didn't really have nothing working. So we can't say it was better before because clearly 20 years ago we was in the World Cup as the smallest nation and now it's Curacao. So
Yep.
20 years ago, guys, remember,
Hmm.
I was 20 years younger. I just want you all to understand, Marcus too. So,
Yep.
and we
Yep.
was
Yep.
we was celebrating in our World Cup dance, bro. And guess what the World Cup it was? Right where I is right now in Germany. So I just want all to understand.
Hmm.
You understand? So don't make it seem like if we was never at this level. We fall from grace drastically in all levels. Look at sports. We focus on football, but if you look at sports in general, guys, it's all across the board. It's been failing for the last 20. And of let's be honest, you can't blame others when you know what was the result. And let me be honest. So we need to work and go forward now. Now is a point to rebuild. Now is a point to let we come together build a thing that suit we and let me move forward. Let me forget all the shit of the past because you can't we're gonna change. You know? You have
Yeah,
a
you can't
magic
change it.
eraser? No. So you know what I mean? So you know what I mean, guys? I just feel like we listened to some good points from Kieran Edwards today, and we listened to some amazing points from the coaching association, and of course, each and every one of those brothers had one thing in mind: moving Trinidad football forward.
Yeah,
Whether it was guys talking about the impact of football on the primary level, how to transition that into the secondary level, how to transition that into the youth clubs, how to get maybe the clubs in the different districts to focus on the teams in these primary schools and secondary school players in that district first. for signings for their club. These sorts
Yeah.
of rules in a sort of homegrown situation, I think it makes sense. I think it definitely will make sense. You know, what I mean, it might be difficult for some teams, but who knows? You will, you will find the gems, and it will force development and advancement, and of course, difficult times. But we had to keep innovating, and no one's saying we need to reinvent a wheel. It already have a wheel. We just need to know how to roll through the Caribbean on a Trini road. You know what I mean? It had pothole and things, so it had some stabilizers. But yeah, big up to everybody in the chat. Of course, Marcus, you know what I mean? I looking at it from the positive side of things, like I keep telling you, as a patient guy. We are time we should be willing to give it some time and wait. You know what I mean?
True,
Because
true,
to
true,
be
true.
honest, I could tell you, I ain't seen nothing like this or close to this. We had better players. Oh God, we had better players, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's had many times. That team where we had, bro, was supposed to beat every team, and them would go and lose some games like some madmen. And the football they was playing didn't look so good. And a lot of people love Steven Ames, but guys, I would tell you my honest opinion. The moment he started playing kick and rush was the end of Trinidad progression in football.
Stephen Hart. Stephen
Stephen
Hart.
Hart, however you
Yeah.
need. I don't like he at all, bro. Sorry. I don't like him. Yeah, I hate he, bro, with a passion. Because for me,
Hmm.
he was the reason we regressed. Because we started playing the Dutch way, expansive attacking football. And that suited our style. And now, and after under him, we regressed to a nothing team. We went from being 33rd, bro, to 100 and something under that man. Nobody else carry worse than he, bro. Now we back up in the 90s or something, or probably higher. We doing okay now because we
98,
had a
yeah.
decent spell. But let me be real, we could have been much better off. We could have been qualifying for a World Cup. But now we have a good manager. We have a good structure. I think maybe we might not have all the players that people wanted to see or would have hoped to be selected. But let me be real. It was not a time where we had so much time to give everybody a chance. As hard as it may seem, they had to make hard choices. But we
Yeah.
have 5 years till 2030, guys. We are time now. So let me give them time.
True, true. And the this U20 team, I know a couple of the players, and some of them looking really good. I see we have a youth man outside in Germany who I think he from the United States. His family's from Florida. I know his family. And yeah, he playing outside, and every week it looks like his dad shows where he's scoring. He scored up to yesterday. Um when I can't remember the name of the team, but it was a German second division team score
Well,
against their U19 team.
probably
Um
he probably playing somewhere in right around me here. Because
uh,
Dusseldorf is a German second division team. It have it have Hamburg, but you see the under 19 teams is all leagues, bro.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
under
That's
19
one thing
team
you tell me,
in
yeah.
will have Bayern Munich and all of them teams in it. So it's not like he just playing against youths. So it have a lot of young trainees, plenty places, bro. Let's not
Yeah.
even that we will start discussing these things because of course, guys, I have a list. So I was starting to name some names on the list. I always have a list of young talented trainees, bro. Let me keep it real. As much as I like
So
to do transfers for Man United, I like to look at the young Trinidadian talent that have in and about the place to see what could become a Trinidad football going forward. Of course, let's not forget it have a lot of options there that, if we could convince them to come under the right project for the next 5 years, we could do things like Antoine Hackford and these guys. Let's not there's lots of talent. Getting Royal Mitchell is a dream. I don't know if people know, but that young fella, bro, will blossom into a very terrifying striker with the right help or the right people around him. And
absolutely,
I'm just so
absolutely.
disappointed and sad that he didn't get two more steps in because I think two more steps on a shot would have been goal. We'd have been into the World Cup, and we would have, he would have been a hero like he should be. But it wasn't to be, sadly. But guys, I
So I
mean,
see somebody asked me the youth man name, so I just putting it in the chat here. His name is Talan Macmillan, Millan. Yeah. that youth man, he outside, and I think if I understand the academy that he with, I think they take them and they carry them to Germany for like 9 months,
Mm.
and they set up somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but they play all the U19 teams, as they say, different levels, different whatever. And then the coaches from Germany, because I mean they're watching them for 9 months, then they would give them contracts and that kind of thing. So I think right now his dad told me he went on a trial with one of the third division teams, but his dad mentioned that he don't think they will take that. He thinks that his son is better than that, which he actually is because
Yeah,
you see that
probably,
he's
but
scoring
it'll
right
be
through. So
it's
yeah.
one of those things, bro. Trust it could be
Oh,
difficult.
true. But
Let me
yeah,
see
as
if I
his
get some information on him right
Prince
now.
know
Yeah,
about him
please.
because I'll always be posting his name on my thing too. And as I say, up to yesterday he scored. And
He's
when
living in the
obviously
USA. He's living in the USA or something like that.
he's from Florida, his family is from Florida.
All
Um
right.
but as I say, he is across there right now. And his
So,
brother actually get called up for the U17 team also. So he will be coming to play for the U20, and his brother got called up for the U17. As I say, even right there in Florida, I know at least 4 or 5 families who have children who are playing, and
mm,
they literally tell me they're waiting for the TTFA to sort out the nonsense so that they could send the children to play because they don't want the children get caught up in that right now. So, but
I mean, it's one of those things, bro. It's be difficult, bro. Trust, like, it's a monster. This football industry is a monster. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
and
it's
this
difficult.
guy Talon, he's supposed to be a right back, but I guess he plays like how Rio does play. He's scoring every week though. So I
Yeah.
asked his father up there yesterday. I say, "You sure he's a right back?" He said, "Well, yeah, that's his position. He does play, but
Yeah, like that. I
he's
know
scoring
about to
every
tell you
week."
that because I see everything I see on him is right back, and I'm looking at it, I saying, "Is the same guy?" You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
his
But yeah,
position is right back.
he
He's
playing for
solid.
the his original team is the Chargers SC or something like that. But
Yeah,
right
that
now
is yeah,
he in that thing he was please play for the he was called up previously to the Trinidad under 17 national team and all these things. Yeah, he
yeah.
Trinidad citizenship of course. And right now he playing for that team in Germany. I want to look up for it on a different thing because I'm not seeing that German team. Um,
Well, it's the talent project. So I don't know. I don't know exactly if it's like an academy or whatever does take them across there, but it's the talent project. That's what he's with right now.
mm,
Yeah, the talent project. Project spelled with a K. And yeah,
yeah.
they're across there.
Project with that case, same project, bro. Just use change for the C in German. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Or in German Football League. Hold on.
Yeah, he's a nice young little player.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, and this is what I keep telling man them. This is what I keep telling people, like there's a lot of things going on, and we gotta always be looking to the future because yes, it have mistakes in what we've done. Yes, it have mistakes in what has happened before. But shout out to JT in the building, big up Broski. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when you look at how we are developing right now and what we have going on, we have a lot of nice things that could culminate into the right moment in the next 5 years. It's a shame we really didn't
Yeah.
go to this World Cup, guys. But trust me, the next 5 years, with the structure that Dwight you're putting in place, the ideology of the current young coaching association and the young footballing federation, with what they have been discussing today, I would say that we're in a prime situation to be moving steadily forward in a steamroll pace in the next 5 years. And of course, with the talent pool being open to foreign based players through the grandfather law, we have so much more opportunities. Now it's just to get these coaches certified to CONCACAF A, B, and C levels so that these guys could do the best possible job they can. And I think if we do all these things and get these things to be the forefront of the drive for the next 5 years, we would see our World Cup birth in 2030. We would all be singing soca at the World Cup, trust me. And of course, going forward, who knows what could happen? You know what I mean? I don't know about you guys, but the best I could tell you is, shout out and of course big up to the fact. that these guys trying something. Not only that, but they was actually able to take the time and the energy to ask these questions, the tough questions, and get these sort of responses from the TTFA president to, open the floor to these guys. And of course, he's always saying you could email, you could walk in. If I could walk in, I would probably be there every day. I just being honest. But I'm not there able to do so. But I will certainly try my best to email and call in at some point this week, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know about Marcus, but yeah, I feel like I talk too much, guys. You know what I mean?
No, I really, really excited with what he said, and I want to see what 2026 really holds because they seem to have a good direction. And that's all you really need, somebody with a vision and to make sure everybody aligned. And I mean, if that coming from the president, I really, really want to hold them to that and see. As I now see somebody say we need to hold them to account. Yeah, we
Yeah, bro.
definitely need
Like
to do that,
I
right?
must hold them to
Um,
accountability.
One last thing before I go, as I mentioned, Next Gem, and I know I spoke about this before. They have a youth tournament which is playing in Tobago, U16 and U20. I thought I had a list with all the teams, but I don't. One of the teams that I do have that is confirmed is that Santos FC from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Their team will be in that also. Again, this tournament is in Tobago. I know there's a team from Sweden. There are teams from the Caribbean. I think Philadelphia United, U16 and U20 coming also, but I just not seeing the list right now. So yeah, that's a nice little tournament for our young players to really gauge where they are at, because coming up against a team like Santos will definitely
Bro.
kind of teach you where you are.
No, no, I mean, listen, yeah, and let me be honest, yeah. And the problem is, and like I keep saying to guys, these guys just have to walk 5 miles and thing a day, bro, and then train. You understand? While
Hmm.
these youngsters we just drive them to training. You understand what I'm saying? The difference.
Yeah.
Like in Germany, men just ride the bicycle to training, bro. 20 minutes. Them riding to get to training. 20 minutes on a bike. Understand what I'm saying to you, Marcus?
Hmm.
They already done kill 10,000, 20,000 steps before they even start to train, and then they train, and then they ride home after.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
dig? Another 30 minutes riding home, 20 minutes, depends on where it is. If they're living in a small city, a small city, it don't really have much buses is right. They're riding 20, 30 minutes sometimes, bro.
Yeah.
It's normal. So guys, like I'm not saying this to say to be to song a type of way, but I'm saying this that I mean I know Trinidad is not the safest for youths to be riding around the place, but we need to provide them with some sort of anabolic movement to get them up to that level of stamina and anabolic attrition because they're fighting a losing battle, bro. Yeah, they're fighting a losing battle. And if you don't start giving them some extras and counting the steps to get them up to that level from early, bro, they're fighting a losing battle. They go and have it hard because just the amount of training they had to do, they don't have the endurance for it.
Yeah.
They certainly
Yeah.
have the talent. You know what I mean? So that's why so few is actually qualify because these few actually have the endurance to adapt, and you can't always leave it to them to adapt at that late stage with the hope that they will get somebody early. Yeah, you had to start it early. You had to start it yourself. Guys. So what I gonna say? The Soca Princess game supposed to be coming up Monday, guys. I know I didn't do a match preview for them, but I will coin that name before Melville. I promise Oli, and I'll give it to the TTFA. Because I not on them kind of thing. This guy, he pissed me off. I telling you, I swear to God, he's not true
Hmm.
Trini. People can say what they want. He's a money grabber. I don't like him. Burn him.
Hmm.
And if all vex with me, I go take it on the chin. I sorry. But I would never do that to my team during our World Cup. I just can't be a traitor, bro. You know what I mean? If I get 10 million, I happy. I didn't have it before. I was never going to have it before. You dig?
Hmm.
And let me be real. We're pretty sure he was getting offered a couple millions. He didn't want it. He wanted more. He greedy.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
you. Move on. You know what I mean? Not here to make you a billionaire. You should have tried that under the previous regime. Why you didn't do that? Nah, you wait for the new boys to push them around. Soft spots. Anyway, guys, we love you all. Have a great night. We will certainly be here to discuss a lot more. Of course, I try as we trying to get Marcus time. You know, you have busy guy, but
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Sorry,
when you have
with the
time, we will
baby,
do more.
it does be tough. It does be tough. Yeah,
Of course, bro. You know, work is life, and you know these things. It's have lots to do.
yeah,
But you know, I mean, if you have time, you'll do another one in the coming days if you're available. There's
yes,
lots
sir.
to talk about. Of course, there's some interesting youngsters to talk about in the 20s, all these things.
Yeah,
Possibilities for the Olympics coming up. What are the options? Of course, I would like to talk about some players who might possibly qualify for those teams. So guys, we'll see you again. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. And if you wasn't watching on Elite Footy Talks, please go to Heart of the Warriors, smash a like, subscribe to his channel. This is my brethren Marcus. If you don't know, get to know him. You know what I mean? Big up to you. Big up to each and everyone watching. Yeah, bro, it's about 8 o'clock in Germany, but bro, I talking for hour now, King. You really want to hear me more, bro?
yeah, man,
God.
man, wicked. Oh, yeah, it's a full hour boy. Oh gosh, yeah,
And I know coasting because I buy a big 2 liter Coke and I can't find it, bro. And I feel like I leave it in the store because I was checking, I was studying the stream. So, you know what, fellas? Have a good night. Shout out to each and every one of you. Big up, Marcus. Thank you so much for being here.
yes, sir.
Guys, we'll be back later on. Of course, Dwight York. We will talk about Dwight York because he has to get a brand new contract. But I need to find this Coke, fellas. I go now.